Give us an example, if you can, of a feeling when you're having a thought or an awareness or an observation and fear comes over you.
When I'm thinking about finding a partner.
All right, but you're not thinking about finding a partner when fear comes. You're thinking about not having found one and not ever finding one.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, isn't that good to know? It's really different. It's really different. It's really different because one is practice that will allow a partner and the other is practice that won't allow. So what kinds of things, just for fun, do you sometimes find yourself saying that are practicing that is disallowing the partner? What are the things that just come natural to you about a partner?
I can't have that.
I can't have that.
Yeah.
I don't have that.
Yeah. If I see other people and they have what I want, I think, I can't have that, or I don't have that.
And is the reason that your conclusion is that you can't have it because you don't have it?
Yes.
It's an accurate answer, but that's like saying, I'm going on a journey, and because I'm not there, I can't get there. Not there. Why bother? So that's dumb.
Yeah, sure is.
Got any good reasons?
I guess it's a sense of not really being able to feel, I think I deserve that.
So you think you don't deserve it because you don't have it? If you will pay attention to that, I'm getting what I'm offering. Have we appealed to your sense of universal law logic at all?
Sure. I think that's where the fear comes in, and it stops it, and then I start closing.
But don't use fear. Don't use fear against yourself in that way. That's bogus. Why do I feel this yucky way? Because Source sees it differently, and I'm stubbornly holding to an old, erroneous nowness that has nothing to do with where I'm going. Really?
Yeah.
Really, we really want you to put this in terms of any journey. Well, here I am. Where do you want to go? Nowhere. Why? Because I'm not anywhere else. I'm just here. How do you like it there? Not so much. Would you like to go somewhere else? No, it makes me afraid. Afraid of what? Of not getting there. Really? So what you've got going on is just a habit of perceiving. And because you have not understood, it's always filling in and it's always changing. It's just changing to more of the same.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that worth thinking about? So here's where I stand, and this is what I'm observing, and I'm observing that I don't have a mate. And I'd like one, but I'm observing that I don't have one. And so the law of attraction is responding to that I'm offering, and so every day it's new. Not having it again, not having it again, not having it again. Do you know in the moment that you stop noticing that you're not having it again, something could change? So how is it that you all get so hung up on offering your vibration mostly by what you're observing? That's what makes you think that life is happening to you rather than that you are calling it to you. So we think you know differently now, don't you?
I do, yes.
You really do. What could you do now that could change that?
I could believe or feel myself as the creator of my reality.
That's the easy answer, isn't it? But not so easy to do. So what's a belief anyway? A belief's just a thought you keep thinking. So if you've been thinking a different thought, is it logical for us to demand an entirely different thought right here and right now? It isn't logical, is it? That you could all of a sudden just conjure a whole different way of looking at it. But you do know that you got to do something different than what you've been doing, because what you've been doing has kept you in a holding pattern, different from what you want. So you must find some way of feeling different about that. Now tell us again some of the things you do that keep you feeling that way. You see someone else and you say, oh, they have something that I don't have. Could you soften that by saying, I'll bet they weren't born together. They don't look like twins.
Okay.
I bet they didn't come in holding hands. I bet they didn't meet in the incubator.
Okay.
They met somewhere along their physical trail. They were not always together. There was a time when both of them were standing in anticipation of meeting each other, just like I'm standing in anticipation. So I'm right on schedule the way I see it. Isn't that logical? If they can do it, I can do it. Is that logical? Is that logical? How does that fly with you? Or are they worthy while you're not?
I think that's where I've been going.
So you think that's your tripping point? I must not be worthy of something more than I have because all I've got's what I've got. When we put it that way, isn't that silly? So How can you alter your own perception? What might you do that's different? What might you say about that?
I might say I can have it just like anyone else.
Yeah, but you don't believe that, so what else might you say? What might you say that you do believe?
Okay.
I've had improvement on many fronts in my life experience.
Yeah.
There are many things that I wanted that I didn't have that eventually came about.
Yeah, you're right.
I've not been void of well-being. In fact, there's a lot of well-being in my life.
Yeah.
And maybe because this is something that I want so much, and I've been focusing on it so much, not realizing that I was focusing on the absence of it. Yeah. So I'm going to distract myself and not think about it so much. And when I do think about it, I'm going to become as general as I can be.
Okay.
So what do you think is the most general stance that anyone could take on anything that they want? In other words, what kinds of things have you been looking for in a relationship? What do you want? Just give us a sort of short list.
Oh, someone available.
So it's just the mere test.
I'm being general.
Available.
I want someone who loves
breathing.
me. Yeah.
So through life experience, before you were identifying the specifics of a partner that you wanted to partner up with, do you think that you were collecting any data prior to your awareness that you wanted to live happily ever after with someone? Long before you put on your list, I want a relationship, you were putting the components of a really good relationship in your vortex. When someone was rude to you, you want people to be nice. When you feel unattended to, you want someone who pays attention. When somebody offers the most boring conversation that just goes on and on and on and on and on and on about things you're not interested in, you want someone who has some interest. When you're with someone who is not attentive to their appearance, you want someone who is. When you're with someone who makes a mess everywhere they are, you want someone who's tidier. In other words, you were making all of those decisions, a lot of what you want in a relationship. In fact, almost all that you care about in a relationship, in fact, everything that you want in a relationship was in your vortex before you came to the conclusion that you want something. Now stay with us because we're going to tie something in. Abraham, you mean, so I've been putting pieces of this relationship in my whole life, and even before you came into this body, pieces into this vortex of what a meaningful relationship feels like. In the vortex, spinning, cooperative components being gathered. And then an idea flows to you about something that you really want. And you think the idea is being born in that moment. It was already in the vortex. You are realizing it when it flows to you. You were up to speed with it, otherwise the idea wouldn't flow to you. But as soon as the idea hit you, you decided to approach it in that bogus way of feeling unready or unworthy. And in that moment, you felt that fear. You were actually feeling the difference of opinion between what the source within you knows about that subject, the source within you who was leading you right along the path, and if you'd kept following that path, you would have rendezvoused immediately with what you're wanting. But no, not you. You decided not to rendezvous. You decided to take that old familiar drum and beat it of, I don't have it, therefore I can't have it. Everything's different now, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't you feel the shift? Didn't you all feel the shift? This is something really important, something that we have not talked about with this kind of clarity before. So let's say it even better. So often when you feel strong negative emotion, let's say it even better. Whenever you feel negative emotion, I just blocked something that I want with a bogus habit of thought that doesn't apply and has no relevance to where I am now and where I'm going. Ooh. That's what you want to know. That's why we want you to make peace with your negative emotion. That's why we want you to understand what it is. That's why we want you to stop standing in a place of feeling mad at yourself or at someone else when you feel negative emotion just because everything's not going exactly the way you think you want it this red hot minute. Negative emotion is your guidance.